there. Coach Joe over here.
What's up,
Got
guys?
3 black belts on the mat now. Well, not
here.
Not here.
Not right now.
But
yeah, we got to award our first black belt to our student Anthony Ramirez the other day.
Well deserved.
Professor Pedro Sauer.
Yep.
It was awesome. Guys put
Very
in more than 10 years, 10, 11 years.
Yeah, really good self-defense.
One of the first students, I was a blue belt when I started teaching,
Mm-hmm.
and he was one of the first guys who came in, and you were helping out around then too.
Mm-hmm.
I think by the time you got your purple belt, you were helping out.
Yep.
And doing day classes?
Yeah, no, I remember, I think I was in one of the first classes that he had anyways, and I remember, just
Man, and one of those guys, he was like, oh, you're going to get sick of me, and he was a little overweight.
for sure. Yeah, that's right.
And he was like, you're going to get sick of me, I'm going to show up every day.
And he actually did.
Yeah, he actually did. And I mean, not every day, like even when there wasn't classes, he'd try to find a way to come down to this day.
For sure.
Now he's got a key because he teaches classes.
But he's in there all the time.
Yeah, it would be when we were open 7 days a week. I kept trying to get him to take a day off, and then I find out he's coming in on Sundays and just free rolling with people and set up like an underground open mat. So we're really proud of the guy. He's super dedicated, and he was in the top 10 of Call of Duty players on the planet at one time. Top 50. Top 50.
Top 50, is it?
And he's also won a few gold medals in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, done a couple super fights. So
Yeah.
good kid.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Not so much kid anymore.
Yeah.
Damn, man, it's
Mid-
crazy.
30s.
We're all getting
Started
older.
off, yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna do some stand-up
Yep.
self-defense.
Let's do some we have a couple guys that are going towards the purple belt, and like this is on a lot of this curriculum is on the purple belt test too. Try to emphasize the self-defense. But we'll start with kind of just like the basic idea of the rear choke here, right? And so we can also look at the structure of the arm. So when my hand is here, if I'm grabbing like this, if he's stronger than me, he can still have the ability to choke me right there. So we don't want to fight where he's strong, we want to fight where the arm is weak. So what I was doing before is I was trying to grab this right here, because now it takes this whole thing away, but it can be very awkward because of the angle of my neck. And see how he can still have a bend here in his arm, and it can be tough to grab and get a hold of. So what I was doing, so when he starts to go right here, see how I turn my neck slightly.
Yeah.
So when I turn my neck, it's very tough for him to get around. And now I can grab and get connected here, right? So one of the things that can happen here is he could try to use the other arm and bring that one through because the head is turned, and that could happen right there too. But I just have to be ready to turn. What also can happen here is if I take this and he tries to get this away, see how he can get tapped there just by like pulling on that right there too. So it's a fairly secure once I get control of this here. And so I'm gonna bring my elbows down to the body. I'm gonna look down as I walk back slightly this way. So I want to look towards where, just like the finger point, I'm looking where the finger is right there, right? And the cool thing about a lot of the self-defense is it's actually easier to do if you're the smaller person, right? Because your whole goal is to get your hips below the other person. So it's actually, like for me to try to like hip throw Joe is actually a heck of a lot tougher than it is for him to hip throw me right there, right? But that's just kind of the idea, right? Because like I come here and see how it doesn't go well with the structure. If I try to get this back, and see how he's gonna break my arm right there, right? So now it's very, very, very tough. It's even like with this crowded, it's gonna be pretty darn tough to get this left hand in right there. Does that kind of make sense, guys? Yeah. Beautiful. Just like that. Perfect.
That attachment, I like people look at the stand-up self-defense and they're like, oh, I'm never going to use that. It is a really common hold, one. But the same thing works if you have hooks in on the back and the person is trying to go for like a back mount, rear naked choke. If you can create an attachment with the arm, so to move your head, it's almost impossible for them to finish the choke.
Oh, for sure.
And all they want to change arms, they want to get their arm back, and that movement, that's your window to escape, to start removing the hooks, changing angles, that kind of stuff.
Undoing the move.
Yeah, so self-defense shouldn't be looked at as like, oh, that's so different, why do I have this extra assignment? I got to do homework now to learn this stand-up stuff, but it all correlates to the ground.
100%.
And the guys who are the best on the ground that I rolled with are really good at the stand-up portion. They're really good at the stand-up self-defense. You know, Professor Sauer himself, but even some of his young kids, students like, he's not so young anymore, but another guy, Jay Cornihan.
He got his black belt.
Did he?
Yesterday.
Oh man, well he earned it, man. I rolled the kid when he was a green belt.
Yeah.
And man, I'm chasing the dude with like with triple attacks, and he's like as cool as a cucumber, and he's just slippery, like just getting out. And it's all because of the self-defense formation.
I can only imagine.
The person thinks they have you in this finishing hold, and they're like, wait a minute. And it's so mentally frustrating when you're on the other side of it. It's like, oh, I got Professor Eric. And like, why is my arm? This is weird.
Yeah, and that's what it teaches you how to do, is like how to increase leverage wherever you are. You know what I mean? 'Cause that's what that is. Like you look at how someone's connected to you, and you're like, gosh, well, that's where his arm is. How can I create leverage so I become a lot stronger?
Yeah, you're being nice to me too, but are you still doing the thing where you're trying to connect it to the shoulder?
Yeah, I can definitely do that too. Because like the key is, right, we have like multiple moves in this situation, but if you don't try to sell the first one, it's not going to work, right? So like, I don't think, maybe we won't do this, but there's like a dragging option too that we see in class here. But I'm never going to just grab somebody here and be like, well, I think I'm going to put that right knee right there and start dragging. You have to make that the only option that they have. Right? Yeah. So like a lot of these movements where we have in the self-defense, like why is the leg here? You have to use that leverage to create a situation where you know where somebody's body's going to be, where it has to be to have any sort of strength.
And that is the biggest difference between self-defense and just training like sport jiu-jitsu is in competition, somebody might do this and just hop on your back and put the hooks in. But if you're at like the grocery store parking lot at 2 a.m, nobody's looking to hop on your back and choke you like that.
I remember watching this, like where the guy, and like he got choked up. The guy jumped on his back like that, and the guy basically did like a front flip and landed on like, yeah, that's fine when you're talking about a mat. It's not fine when you're talking about a mat, which sucked really bad too. Yeah. But you're not gonna be able to hold that on concrete, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
That would hurt.
Yeah. So think about like, what's the person's intent when you're doing the self-defense? Oh man, I want to drag this person into the alley or something. That's going to have a totally different feel than, I got to tap you out, I got to score points and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So like what the professor's talking about here is he might get the first move. Now I see there's no way, and I don't want to get lifted. So to drag him somewhere, I have to put my right foot there. And then he's got to throw here.
Yep. And it's crazy, man, because like, if a lot of it is too, right? And I'll do it to you real quick. I'm gonna let you do it to me, but right, if I try to drag with my hips this way, he's still gonna throw
still
me.
Gonna lift. Sorry.
You're great. So like, if he really tries to make this throw happen here, I have to put that leg there, or else I'm gonna get thrown.
Yeah.
Nothing else I can do. I have to put that leg there. It's interesting stuff, man. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah. The other thing is the last thing I guess we can talk about is you touched on it twice there, is it's got to be genuine.
Yeah.
There's not really like there's not really fakes in jiu-jitsu like striking where it's like, hey, look over here, and then you get hit with something, because there's no visual distance, you're attached. And so if you commit to the first one, you get a genuine reaction.
I was just talking to us about that last night. I mean, a week ago.
Before we closed.
Before we closed. But like, it's the same thing with your rolling. If you're being tentative, you're never going to pass my guard, never going to tap me. You have to commit and make a reaction happen. If you don't commit to something, like whether you're attacking or trying to pass or doing anything from the bottom, it's very, very going to be very hard to do anything to somebody that's knowledgeable, because you're just giving too many outs at that point in time.
One thing about how people attack you on the street, they're 100% committed to that assault, whether it's a knife attack or a grab or 2-on-1 or whatever. They don't have any other thought or strategy. It's fully committed. And if you can solicit that in your training partners, now you're really onto something. If I can make him really committed to doing one singular task, escapes and everything are easy. But when I'm like kind of halfway doing things, I haven't done that job yet, so you can just do whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So just, think about the intent as you watch the self-defense. There's a lot of moves we talk about where in class people are always like, oh man, that wouldn't work in competition. Not everything is for competition.
Who cares about competition, man? Like, no offense, but I mean, like, I'd much rather like instill things where like,
in people where I know that if someone grabs him, that all of a sudden that person that grabbed him is like,
Right.
uh-oh, right? When you can instill in somebody where they can survive any situation like that they get into, that's what martial arts is for. It's not for winning a bunch of
Trophies are
silly
cool.
medals, man. You know what I mean?
Those are fun.
You want a bunch of medals.
Well, think about like
You know?
pre-COVID, we had about 200 students, and on a busy year, 10, maybe a little bit more % compete.
Yeah.
So you got 20 people maybe competing all the time.
For sure.
And going through that. But the majority of class, that's not who's in your class. And I don't care what gym you're at. We just had a guy, he came up from the Mendez Academy.
Yeah.
And
Nice guy. Super
yeah,
nice.
and he was like, "Oh no, I didn't compete." And I'm like, "Oh man, tell me about the gym." He goes, "Oh, the biggest demographic for competitors there was the kids.
Yep.
So all the adults there were doing a lot of competition jiu-jitsu that they were actually never ever using
Yep.
because a lot of them weren't even competing because they had a real youth focus there, and that's smart too because they're building the next generation of jiu-jitsu athletes, and I totally get that. But all I'm saying is, in any gym, man, I've talked to Eric Paulson last time I was down in LA. He just was randomly there, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, I got a big group of fighters," and the dude's got 300 students.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, more people on the fight team than ever." I was like, "Whoa, man, how many?" He's like, "About 14."
Yeah.
So he's not running a school solely as a fight academy either, because you just get people getting hurt, and they don't have the knowledge that's really going to serve them outside the academy.
And I remember this like one of our first instructors, what he said was, he was like, and I completely disagree with it actually, where he's saying, well, you want to compete because the closest thing to actually being in a real fight is competing. You're like, it absolutely is the opposite of that, because you're just grabbing somebody by the jacket while they could be punching you in the
Yeah.
face. It's got nothing to do with that. You're trying to force things to happen. We should learn mentally how to control the situation. So
It
you
was
walk
maybe
away.
at one time when the UFC had no rules and it was really cool.
Oh,
to
for
watch.
sure, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure. And I'm even talking about like
cool.
jujitsu competition.
Right, yeah.
But like, but like, you know, it's the same thing. It's not a fight. It's a sporting event, man.
Man, fighting sucks.
Yep.
I don't know. I've been in a couple altercations, and even when you walk away the winner, you don't feel good.
No.
You're like,
stress
oh,
out
man.
about it. Think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Can't believe I had to do that today.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, anyway. But yeah, self-defense can serve everybody, and the final benefit is it will serve all your other jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
So whether you're competing or not, or you're just looking to do this as a lifestyle, the self-defense positions really spoil you with good mechanics.
And it's funny because you see, like, and I'm not trying to bring this, I mean, make this long, but it's like you'll see people like where, like, oh yeah, everything's all good, the jiu-jitsu lifestyle. But then you watch how they do jiu-jitsu, and you're like, you're missing the whole entire point. You're being aggressive. You're shoving people to like face through the mat.
The gentle art.
You're like, oh yeah, man,
The
you
gentle
know,
art, man.
peace, love, and whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I think the biggest sign is like, jiu-jitsu's helped me live such a better life, and they have back trouble.
Oh, for sure.
They got the every finger
Yeah.
taped, the ears are
it's just silly.
destroyed.
It's just like
We just got lucky, man, meeting
We did.
the Gracies and going through the
Yeah.
pathway with Professor Sauer.
And there's a lot of people that are great at rolling and things like that that aren't like through that pathway, but that doesn't mean that they're great at jiu-jitsu or great at teaching by any means. It's a stretch of imagination. I don't know. It's
Everybody's
just-
good. Everybody's got some kind of value to add.
For
and
sure.
That's all we're looking for. But
For sure.
thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you, Warriors. We will catch you next time after the holiday, and hopefully the academy will be back open then.
Yep.
Stay safe. Stick to your small gatherings. Eric and I are in a bubble.
Yeah.
We really I don't see more than like 4 to 6 people that are other than you.
Yeah.
So try to keep things small, man. Let's do our part and get this pandemic under control so we can all have a better life in 2021.
100%. Yes.
All right, Warriors, we're out.
Where's that?